After gathering everyone, Hikari begins explaining a phenomenon called ennui, which supposedly affects relationships after 3 months. However, since they've been together for quite some time, this phase should have already passed. But then, Hikari drops an interesting detail. She became Hentaro's girlfriend much later than the others. Out of nowhere, Hikari comes up with a brilliant idea to shake up the group's routine. Without wasting time, she asks Kusuri to bring her latest experiment, a drug called Ui Destruction. Subtle name, right? The problem is that when Kusuri drops the drug into a glass of juice, everything goes wrong. Very wrong. The juice literally explodes in her hands, causing absolute chaos. The explosion is so loud that Hentaro rushes over to see what's happening. After all, the second season has already begun, and now a strange purple mist is spreading across the area. When the dust settles, surprise, all the girls have swapped bodies. That's right, panic quickly spreads. Well, almost everyone panics. Nano, as always composed, simply suggests that the best thing to do is adapt. Meanwhile, Hentaro desperately tries to figure out who is who, since everything has turned into a real puzzle. Then there's Hikari, now in Nano's body, realizing that this is the perfect chance to do whatever she wants without anyone suspecting her. Pretending she's still adjusting to the new body, she starts staggering around and suddenly throws herself into Hentaro's arms, rubbing her face against him and sniffing him shamelessly. But Hentaro catches on immediately. Only Hikari would pull something like that. When he reveals that he already knows who she is, Hikari is frustrated, unable to understand how he figured it out so quickly. Well, let's be honest, it wasn't that hard. Meanwhile, Kusuri, now in Hikari's body, starts acting like a child literally. She even exposes herself right away because, of course, she keeps ending her sentences with her own name. And, as if that weren't enough, she suddenly announces that she needs to go to the bathroom, but since she's wearing a diaper, she can just go right there. Hikari, in Nano's body, freaks out and rushes to take her to the bathroom because, honestly, no one deserves to witness that happening to their own body. While all this is going on, Hentaro observes Kusuri's body and tries to guess who's inside. After a bit of conversation, he discovers it's Harari. She's absolutely thrilled to be in a young body again, and immediately starts causing trouble. Now, in Harari's body is Karan, which is obvious since she acts exactly like a tsundere and is very pleased with, let's just say, certain physical attributes she now possesses. Shizuka, on the other hand, ends up in Karani's body, and her calm personality completely contrasts with the explosive energy from before. Finally, Nano is now in Shizuka's body. As soon as she realizes this, she hands the girl a phone so she can communicate. With everyone properly identified, the big question arises: how on earth are they going to get back to their original body? Desperate to return to their correct bodies, Shizuka and Kusuri try to solve the problem in the most creative way possible, by smashing their heads together. The result? No change whatsoever, just 2 massive lumps growing on their foreheads. That's when Harari comes up with a fairy tale-worthy solution. Only a kiss from a prince can restore everything to normal. But Nana, being the sharp one, immediately realizes that this is just a flimsy excuse to steal a kiss from Hentaro. Instead of denying it, Harari simply confirms her plan, pulling Hentaro onto her lap. The strangest part? Even in a small body, she somehow radiates a maternal aura that Hentaro wasn't expecting. He feels completely bewildered, unsure why he's experiencing a mix of comfort and awkwardness at the same time. Before he can think too much about it, Harari says, "You're a good boy, and for that, I'll reward you." Then, she kisses him. In that instant, her soul simply floats out of the body and starts drifting through the air. Nano is the first to realize what this means. All the girls need to kiss Hentaro for their souls to return to their rightful bodies. Wasting no time, Nano steps forward and asks him to lower his head. But upon seeing his face turning red, she sighs. "Hentaro, this is no time to be shy. We have a serious problem here." Saying that, she lifts his chin and kisses him. Done. Her soul also leaves the wrong body and returns to its proper place. Next up is Kusuri. But instead of just giving a quick kiss and solving the problem immediately, she decides to take advantage of the situation. Grabbing Hentaro from behind, she hugs him tightly, pressing him against her. The problem? In that moment, something awakens inside her, a certain curiosity involving sharp objects she usually hides inside her blouse. Hentaro, now completely panicked, shuts it down instantly. "Kusuri, stop this, and just kiss me already, before you discover something you shouldn't." And just like that, another soul returns to its place. Hentaro starts sweating. This situation is getting more intense than he expected, but he takes a deep breath and pushes through until everything is resolved. Now it's Shizuka's turn. She hesitates in front of him and asks to go next. Trying to keep his composure, Hentaro gently holds her shoulders for the kiss. Shizuka blushes deeply, but eventually gathers the courage to press her lips against his. Then comes Karani. As always, she tries to act tough and tells him to just get it over with. But Hentaro sees right through her tsundere act and comments, "You know, you look really cute when you try try to act like this. Kurain turns even redder but doesn't back down. She gives him the kiss, and just like that, another soul is back in place. Finally, all the girls return to their original bodies. A wave of relief washes over them as they celebrate, happy to be back to normal. And Hentaro? Well, he's completely exhausted and out of breath. After all, kissing all of them one after another had certain side effects on a particular part of his body. Curious, as always, Hikari approaches and asks, "So, how was it seeing all of us in different bodies?" Hentaro gives a sheepish smile and replies, "It was exciting." Hearing that, Hikari looks satisfied. Even though this body swap was a complete accident, at least Hentaro gained a special memory to look back on. I quote. Hentaro, without hesitation, makes it clear. He prefers the girls just the way they've always been. Upon hearing this, all of them feel a little flustered. But Harari, being Harari, sees an opportunity and asks to kiss him again now that she's in her real body. And, as expected, the other girls don't want to be left out and jump on the idea. What happens next? Well, that's another story. An unexpected encounter. Later, Hentaro decides to go to the cafeteria to grab a snack. Everything is peaceful until bam, he bumps into someone. It's a girl, and for a brief moment, the two of them reach for the same snack at the exact same time. As Hentaro tries to apologize, he feels a shock run through his body. Not just any shock, but that same one from before, the soulmate's shock. He immediately understands what's happening, but as he takes a closer look at the girl's uniform, he notices something that confuses him. She's from middle school. Meanwhile, the girl, visibly uncomfortable with his intense stare, blurts out, "Got a problem? There's no rule saying I can't come to the high school cafeteria, you know?" Feeling awkward, Hentaro quickly shakes his head and tells her she's free to stay. But then, as the girl goes to pay for her snack, she realizes she left her wallet at home. With no other choice, she sighs, gives up on buying anything, and sits on a bench outside, trying to ignore the loud growls of her stomach. A little later, Hentaro approaches and offers her half of his snack, but noticing that he seems to be following her, the girl frowns. "You're creeping me out." Trying to seem less suspicious, Hentaro improvises. "Ah, well, I was planning to eat another one later, but I don't think I can finish it alone, so I figured I'd share." Even so, the girl hesitates. But the moment her stomach growls again, she sighs, defeated by hunger, and accepts the food. And then, something curious happens. As she eats, for the first time, she smiles. The change is so drastic that Hentaro almost doesn't recognize her. Up until now, she had been frowning the entire time. "I tend to be pretty high-strung," she explains. "When I'm hungry, I get even more irritated. And if I crave something specific and can't have it, then it's game over." Saying this, she apologizes for being rude earlier. Then, she starts talking more about herself. She describes herself as a complete food fanatic, so obsessed that she sometimes associates random objects with equally random dishes. Because of this, she has to cover her eyes with her hoodie and wear headphones to avoid making those weird connections all the time. "So that's why you're always wearing a hoodie and headphones?" Hentaro asks. The girl nods. "I only take them off when I'm eating. If I'm going to enjoy a real meal, I have to use all my senses. It's the least I can do, right?" After finishing her food, she stands up, thanks Hentaro for the snack, and gets ready to leave. But before she goes, he calls out, "Wait, at least tell me your name." Before she can answer, her stomach growls again. Instantly, her expression returns to the same scowl as before. "Are you hitting on me?" Hentaro nearly chokes on air at the accusation, but observing the situation, he realizes she's already hungry again. The snack she just ate has been completely digested. Meanwhile, the girl feels her heart racing and wonders what the hell this strange sensation is. The next day, she returns to the cafeteria, determined. Her goal, a breaded hamburger sandwich. After seeing everyone talk about it on television, she can't think about anything else. "Today, I'm eating that no matter what." Asterisk. A surprise breakfast. Full of anticipation, Kuromi arrives at the cafeteria, ready to finally taste the much-talked-about breaded hamburger sandwich, but to her complete frustration. Sorry, sweetheart. It's sold out," the cashier says with an apologetic smile. That snack sold like crazy. Everyone wanted to try it after it was featured on that television show. Kuromi freezes on the spot. Asterisk. Television show. So that's it. Asterisk. The only reason this snack became a craze was because of that stupid program. And now, thanks to that, she was standing there empty-handed, her stomach growling once again. Before she can vent her frustration, Hentaro suddenly appears and suggests, "How about trying the pork loin sandwich? It's pretty similar." Kuromi looks at him as if he just uttered the greatest blasphemy in the world. Similar? One is a breaded hamburger and the other is pork loin. They have nothing in common. Without a second thought, she turns around and decides to head to the nearest convenience store. If the school didn't have the snack, she'd find it somewhere else. But before she can leave, Hentaro remembers an important detail. Middle school students aren't allowed to leave school during class hours. Wait, if you want, I can go in your place. Before he can even finish the sentence, pah! Kuromi slaps him across the face. You're so annoying. And without looking back, she stomps off toward the store. The problem? When she gets there, she finds out the sandwich is sold out there too. This has to be a joke. Her stomach growls loudly. Her patience reaches its limit. But before she explodes in rage, she takes a deep breath. Looking around, she notices that everyone is keeping a certain distance from her. Do I always push people away like this? A surprise breakfast. The next day, on her way to school, Hentaro approaches her again. Before she can tell him to get lost, he takes her to the culinary classroom. On the table, right in front of her, sits the long-awaited breaded hamburger sandwich. Kuromi's eyes light up. How did you get this? Hentaro smiles. Simple. I got permission and made it myself. Only then does she notice his hands covered in bandages. He burned and cut himself in the process. He went through all that just to make a snack for me? Her stomach growls again, but this time, it's not just hunger, it's confusion. Why are you being so nice to me? After everything I did to you, Hentaro shrugs. You have good qualities, you know? I like how you respect every meal. Eating with someone who appreciates food like that makes me feel comfortable. Kuromi feels a strange warmth in her chest. Funny, I feel like food tastes better when I eat with you too. Without thinking much, she blurts out, let's keep eating together, like as if we were dating. Saying that, she finally reveals her name, Haraga Kuromi *. And, as expected, Hentaro takes Kuromi to meet his other girlfriends. So, what do you all think? Can I add another one to the collection? Kuromi immediately shuts down. Don't get any ideas. I'm not interested in getting close to anyone besides Hentaro. The other girls exchange looks. Yeah, we've heard that one before. To break the ice, Hentaro mentions an upcoming food festival. The event features an eating competition, and the prize is cash and a special dessert made by a 3-star pastry chef. Kuromi crosses her arms. Easy. I can win that by myself. The problem? To participate, she needs a guardian's permission. Harari puts a hand on her chin, thinking, I'll let you pretend to be my daughter, but on one condition. You have to call me Mommy *. A vein pops on Kuromi's forehead. Never! And so, everything is set for an epic next episode, where this crazy bunch will take on a food competition. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and comment * 100 girlfriends * so we can bring part 2. See you in the next video. Peace out.